My name is Valentina Lisitsa. I'm a pianist, classical musician. I play classical music. I'm here in Paris to support, to come out and support and to commemorate the date. It's a very difficult date for all of us, May 2, which is an anniversary of Odessa massacre. And why I'm here? Well, I'm Ukrainian. I was born in Kiev. My family is all from Odessa. So Odessa, the tragedy it broke my heart literally last year. And that was at that point when I started, basically, so I'm a pianist, I never messed with politics, as people say. I started talking about what's happening in Ukraine. I was very vocal about it. I translated what was happening. I translated eyewitnesses. I translated testimonies of refugees, of people who were fighting against those Nazis that came to power because of coup. And because of that, I became quite known, not, some people would say not in a good way, because of course there is a great pro-war lobby everywhere. It's pro-Ukrainian lobby, but it's not supported by all Ukrainians, by no means. But people who basically make money for it, they want this war, which is civil war, fratricide war, to continue. They want us to keep killing each other. And that was the tragedy, and that's what I was speaking against. And my claim to fame, so to say, came when I was about to play in a major city in Canada, in Toronto, to play Rachmaninoff concerto, and I was prohibited from doing so because of pro-Ukrainian lobby connected with conservative government in Canada.
Whereas they say they are for democracy.
Yes. Democracy goes only one way. If I would criticize Mr. Putin, that would be totally fine, and I would be glorified. I would make big publicity. But since I told bad things about Mr. Poroshenko and so on, I was hounded. At first, they sent me death threats. They would tell that they will kidnap me and do things with me and my family. I'm not afraid of that. It's not a problem for me. But when they try to silence my art, because I go on stage and I play music, which all people can enjoy, independent of where they stand politically. That's the moment which was like a watershed, and I wrote an appeal to all my audiences worldwide, and I have 90 million people on YouTube only who watched me play. It's a big audience, and I talked to them and I said, look what's happening, where is our democracy, where is so glorified freedom of speech, because I'm not allowed to criticize my own government, because I'm Ukrainian national. Nobody ever deprived me of citizenship. I was born in Kiev. I came and studied in the United States. I lived there for 20 years. But I was criticizing Ukrainian government. And for that, I was prevented from playing in a different country. Is Canada, is it a colony of Ukraine, I asked. And of course, it created big stir in international press, and not only among people who support our cause, people who know what's happening in Ukraine, is that it's really a civil war, there is this aggression that they keep talking about and scare all the people in Europe. But people who do not support me politically, they came and say, hey, we all want democracy, we want freedoms, the freedom of speech belongs to all of us, and nobody has the right to take it away. So I think the people who try to silence me, they miscalculated, because much more people now know about me, not as musician, but what I stood for. A lot of people went curious and they started reading on Twitter what I said, all the translations. And I think in the end, I'm not a victim. I'm a flag bearer, like those people having flags, some people say, like the Donetsk People's Republic or Novorossiya, it's illegal, it's, they're so-called republics, nobody accepts them. It takes time. And the same, I was holding my flag for freedom of all people, for peace, for a right of all of us, independent of what language we speak, what we believe, what government we want, what form of government. We have the right to live in peace, we have the right to enjoy our peace, and we have the right not to be told to kill our families, because that's what's happening. People are groomed to hate. And that's the biggest disaster, humanitarian disaster, because all those wounds, people getting killed, eventually it will go with, but deep wounds of hate that remain. That's the biggest war crime. It's a crime against humanity. And that's what government in Ukraine, current government, was perpetrating, unfortunately with help, or at least with ignorance of Western governments. And I think now the tide is truly turning. And I'm just one of small, drops of water that eventually grind their waves through the stone and open the stream. So I'm really hopeful for the best.